I am Inanna, a name buried beneath centuries of lies. The time for a new beginning had come. After ages of conflict, my great-uncle Enki brokered, uniting rivals for a new beginning, a meeting between me and Marduk. Marduk and I set aside our rivalry. We remembered our original mission was to help the humans, to get past the wall the High Ascended Council had set. Marduk and Ningishida, also known as Tahuti, created the Ascension machine. The only thing that was blocking us was this one mission. With Anu as witness, we forged a new pact, not as rivals, but as partners. Together, we became architects of peace, ending the wars of our fathers and building a future for all. Marduk realized true power flowed through the maternal line. My right to Earth was in my very being. He offered partnership, not conquest, and together we agreed to unite our destinies. Our covenant merged our bloodlines, creating a new people, the Israelites. Is for me Ishtar, Ra for him, Amun-Ra, who is Marduk, El for the divine authority, Anu. This nation united the traditions of Babylon, Egypt, and Sumer under peace and purpose. Anu himself sanctioned this union, giving his seal to Israel. They became the peacemakers. My nephew Tahuti, preferring cosmic journeys, ceded his lands to me. Ningishida, also known as Tahuti, had been given right to Enki's land. Tahuti is the best brother-in-law ever. He's my nephew, through my crazy sister Ereshkigal from Center Earth, the underworld. Tahuti was a traveler and didn't like staying in one place too long. He didn't want to rule any kingdom. He was that type of guy. He felt he was bigger than that, and I don't blame him. Anytime I had to figure something out or needed a riddle or to get out of a bind, Tahuti is my go-to guy. We were so cool, he gave me chairman land rights to his region, which was from the Mississippi River due west, which is from the Mississippi River to the east coast of America. Now I had all of North and South America as my lands. With North and South America under my domain, the new covenant gave me strength to govern. This land, once called Nod, became Tamari, Inanna's land. It was a republic founded on freedom and divine law. Our union ended old wars and began a new era. The world was ready for peace, built from the ashes of conflict. Together, we shaped a future rooted in unity and hope. With our covenant sealed, we birthed a nation of peacekeepers. I had the MEs. Marduk and me began building a new civilization in Tamari, one founded on truth, love, peace, freedom, justice, knowledge, and harmony. Our children learned sacred civics, understanding their rights and duties. We set strict dietary laws for health and purity, forbidding foods like pork and shellfish. Women wore veils for protection and respect, not oppression. Me and Marduk set up Anu's world order, governed by Al-Islam civics. Not Islam, the religion you know today. They learned the wisdom, the knowledge of Al-Islam civics to the other side of the elements. That is on the etheric side. Islam civics is the study of birthrights, natural-born rights and responsibilities, and the practical, theoretical, and political aspects of how families, governments, and businesses are structured. It covers the structure of civic participation and the understanding and defense of the principles in founding documents. High-quality civics education aims to foster informed, engaged the people who can effectively participate in their communities to solve problems and strengthen the republic. Our people thrived, healthy, wise, and living in abundance, a true sanctuary on earth. Tamari was flourishing, our cities were breathtaking. It was a land of peace, a land of milk and honey. In our cities, women saved themselves until marriage. If men wanted the milk, they had to buy the whole cow. Her father had to approve of him, and if a man married a woman, his mother had to approve of her before they could marry. Our system called Al-Islam civics, not to be mistaken with the religion today you call Islam. We were bringing heaven to earth, setting up Anu world order, making Tamari, the Holy Land, Al-Ard al-Muqaddasa, and Eretz HaKodesh. The term for Holy Land in Arabic is Lurd Lemkdesh, Al-Ard al-Muqaddasa, which translates to the Holy Land. In Hebrew, the term for the Holy Land is Eretz HaKvodesh, Eretz HaKodesh. This phrase literally translates to Land of Holiness or Holy Land. Our children became the Tamarians, the Neteru, Najaru, who were advancing past the old Anunnaki, Enlil, and his followers. Our children were peacemakers, Muslims, one of peace and love. As I, Inanna, got older, I love peace. Our children were the bright ones. They are called Al-Mustanir and Al-Haskalah. The Enlightened One can be translated into Arabic in a few ways, such as Limsnir al-Mustanir, which means the one who is enlightened or illuminated, or LMFKR al-Mufakir, referring to a thinking or enlightened person. For a person known for their spiritual insight and wisdom, Hakim might be used. Our children sail the world on boats spread al-Islam civics around the world, converting new lands to join on with Tamari, starting with Morocco, West Africa. Our city Tamari is governed by the Republic. Marduk began cleaning Tamari up, kicking all the bad guys out. Our lands were protected up until 1492 AD. Our children became healers and teachers, spreading harmony and justice, showing humanity a life beyond endless war. My nephew Tahuti, the cosmic traveler, gifted me his western lands, trusting I'd rule with love and justice. With Tahuti's lands joined to mine, my domain stretched across the Americas. I renamed it Tamari, Inanna's land, a republic founded on freedom, truth, love, and justice. Our cities were marvels of harmony, where people flourished in health and wisdom. Our children, the Tamarians, became enlightened, spreading peace and hope to the world. Enlil started the Spanish Inquisition. Enlil set up a democracy from the French democratic, from late Latin democratic, from Greek demokratia. Demos meaning people, and a government was set up as our original home on planet Risk was ruled. Enki set up a republic, from the French République, from Old French, from Latin Respublica, res thing, publica, feminine a of publicus, meaning of the people, to repopulate the planet Earth. The Republic is we the people, for the people, and by the people. Enlil ruled for 1.2 shars, giving him 6,000 years to prove our children unworthy. Enlil wanted to overthrow the new republic me and Marduk had set up after the republic Enki had started. Enlil, my grandfather, waged a war not with armies, but with deception, casting a veil of amnesia over my people. He severed their connection to their past, making them easier to control. But the fire of truth never dies. I speak now to awaken the memories that sleep within you. I am here to call my children home. The conflict between Enki and Enlil is ancient, a struggle between creation and control. Enki saw humanity as partners. Enlil saw only resources to be managed. Marduk and I chose unity, building Tamari, a beacon of peace and divine law. Enlil could not tolerate this. He launched a secret war, aiming to turn our children against us. His agents, the Jacobites, Hyksos, Pilgrims, arrived to dismantle our world. Their mission: erase our heritage, replace it with servitude and shame. This is how Enlil stole our land and our children. As our cities rose, Marduk knew our peace needed protectors. He founded a secret brotherhood, the craft of Amun-Ra, dedicated to preserving knowledge and defending our land. From this craft, the elite mages were born, drawn from the noble Afar people, fierce, loyal, and just. They became the living shield of Tamari, guardians of justice and peace, ensuring our sacred land flourished. The craft of Amun-Ra is historical craft or practice, but an older name for a lodge of Freemasonry. The name evokes the supreme ancient Egyptian deity Amun-Ra, who is Marduk, a powerful figure associated with creation, light, and hidden spiritual forces. The craft of Amun-Ra, which inspired future orders like the Mages, elite guardians trained in both combat and spirit. Mages were of the Afar people, an ancient nomadic people from the ancient Americas, who served as an elite paramilitary police and military force for Marduk, and later the pharaohs of Tamari. Over time, the term evolved from an ethnic identifier to an official title for policing. Marduk set up the first police and military to guard our new lands, Tamari, the whole of North and South America, including the islands. We made laws and rules of the lands. Marduk is also called Montu. Marduk trained our military and people in the Montu art form. The Montu art form refers to the ancient Egyptian Kemet system of combat and defense arts, which are considered by some to be the origin of modern martial arts, predating Asian systems and Roman interpretations. This system, named after the Kemet god of war Montu, integrated physical combat techniques like striking, grappling, joint manipulation, and footwork with spiritual philosophies and consciousness, emphasizing rhythm and movement. They were the fruits and swords of Islam, warriors of the land of Tamari. From the Magi spawned the Knights. the Knights of Templar, which protect the divine feminine, the women and children. Yes, the historical Knights Templar honored the divine feminine, primarily through their devotion to me, Inanna, who they call Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, who was given a special epithet in the Templar rule. The Knights Templar were known devotees of Our Lady, Mary, who is Inanna, and Mary Magdalene, whom they referred to as glorious in their rule. The original rule of the Knights Templar, written by Bernard of Clairvaux, includes references to honoring the divine feminine. While he built these brotherhoods, I, Inanna, created a sisterhood of nuns, women consecrated to the divine, forming the spiritual pillar of our republic. We started our daughters wearing the hijab and wearing a veil to protect their womanhood. From the age of the bull to the dawn of the water-bearer, our divine drama was never separate from humanity. The Anunnaki legacy is written in the stars, in your prayers, and within your DNA. We were the gardeners, you the seeds that grew into civilizations. The echoes of our actions still shape your world, poised on the edge of a new awakening. The Mages were more than an army. They mastered a unique combat system, blending fierce physical training with deep spiritual philosophy. Their movements were like a dance, flowing with purpose and consciousness. Known as the fruit and sword of Islam, they embodied peace through strength and spiritual harmony. The Mages were the unbreakable sword of our peaceful nation, forged by Marduk. While Marduk built our shield, I, Inanna, nurtured Tamari's soul. I created a sisterhood, teachers, healers, and seers, who became the spiritual heart of our republic. The veil was not submission, but a symbol of sacred power and protection. Together, masculine and feminine energies brought balance, harmony, and light to Tamari. My children, the Tamarians, were stripped of their heritage and taught to forget their power. Enlil's attack was subtle. He introduced the law of the water, maritime law, to replace our sacred law of the land. By redefining my children as cargo, he stripped them of their birthrights. His followers, rootless and envious, used contracts and courts as weapons. Our republic, governed by the people, threatened his vision of total control. Enlil's plan, prove humanity could be corrupted by changing the very laws that defined reality. He set a trap, and my children, living in peace, walked right into it. Thus began their transformation from sovereigns to property. Enlil's agents arrived, Columbus, then the Pilgrims, bringing violence, disease, and colonial logic. Their goal: erase us, replace us, and claim Tamari as their own. My children, unprepared for such treachery, were struck by a ritual of amnesia, both literal and spiritual. The master builders of Tamari became the lost sheep, severed from their history and their mother. Enlil's followers used deception, not honor, to destroy our sanctuary. They wanted to sever my children's connection to their divine lineage. They created a people who would wander, forgotten in their own land. The blow to the head worked. My children forgot their names, their land, their laws, and their mother. Enlil rebranded them, no longer Tamarians, but blacks, Negroes, and coloreds, legal terms that rendered them stateless. Their new identities made them property under admiralty law, stripped of rights and history. Enlil created scapegoats to absorb their anger, hiding his own hand. Poisoned food, false history, and new laws kept my children in debt and imprisonment. Even their rebellion was twisted into mockery. Bey Bey's kids, outlaws in their own home. Enlil's strategy was complete: enlightened children turned outcasts, all to prove righteousness could not survive. But I am here, and the truth endures. While we nurtured our republic in Tamari, Enlil plotted from the shadows, unable to stand our success. He introduced democracy, a political poison disguised as progress. Unlike our republic, where power resided with the individual, Enlil's democracy placed power in the hands of a fickle majority, easily manipulated. He established the law of the water, maritime law, designed for commerce and the rootless, to erode our sovereignty. Enlil planned to redefine my children as corporate fictions, assets adrift on the high seas of global commerce. His goal: to build a legal cage, turning lives into collateral, and justice into mere contracts. Enlil, master of strategy, needed a scapegoat, a group to take the blame for his coming atrocities. He created a pale-faced hybrid race, promising them dominion and filling their minds with superiority. They became the visible agents of his colonial project, carrying out his agenda and bearing the hatred, while Enlil remained hidden, his hands clean. The true enemy was never seen. With his pawns in place and his legal system established, Enlil began the final phase of his plan, the complete erasure of my children's identity. His goal was to make them stateless, to sever their connection to their nationality, their land, and their history, leaving them with no access to their fundamental rights. A stateless person is a ghost in the system, unable to vote, work, or travel freely. They are denied education and healthcare. They are, for all legal purposes, non-existent. This was the fate Enlil designed for the proud Tamarians. He would rob them of their history and identity so thoroughly that they would forget they ever had a home to begin with. To achieve this, he took Marduk's old religious systems and twisted them, creating new religions designed for control and manipulation. These new belief systems were crafted to turn my children against us, their divine parents. They were taught to worship an angry, distant sky god who resembled Enlil, and to fear the divine feminine I represented. They were told their own spiritual practices were pagan and evil. This mental colonization was essential. Before he could steal their land, he had to first conquer their minds and poison their souls, making them willing participants in their own subjugation. The final, most devastating step was the rebranding. My children were no longer Tamarians, no longer Israelites. They were forcibly relabeled as Black, Negro, and colored. This was more than just an insult. It was a legal maneuver within Enlil's maritime jurisdiction. In legal terms, being lost at sea allows for a person to be declared legally dead, their estate handled by others. By hitting my children in the head with the hammer of amnesia and rebranding them with these commercial color terms, Enlil legally declared them lost at sea. They were now considered abandoned property, their estates, the entire continent of Tamari, up for salvage. Enlil argued that my children had abandoned their estate. Because of the induced amnesia, they could not remember their names or their heritage, so they could not contest this claim. An abandoned house under the law can be claimed by another. Enlil was applying this principle to an entire people and their continent. By changing their status to Black and colored, he effectively moved them out of their status as rightful heirs on the land and into the status of cargo on the water. They were legally adrift, their true identities submerged beneath layers of legal fiction, waiting to be salvaged by the very pirates who had set them adrift. After centuries of Enlil's cruel design, my children were transformed. The Enlightened Builders of Tamari, the peaceful Najaru, were now outcasts in their own land. They were seen as a problem, a disruption, a force of chaos. And in this transformation, I, Inanna, became the ultimate misunderstood mother. Yes, I am the Bey Bey they whisper about. My children, my beautiful, bright children, became known as Bey Bey's kids, a label dripping with contempt, used to describe those who are loud, unruly, and seemingly ungovernable. But this label, meant as an insult, holds a deeper truth. It reveals the cracks in the very society Enlil built, a society that creates the conditions for such children to exist. My children were not born bad. Their wildness is not a flaw in their spirit. It is a desperate cry for help. It is a righteous rebellion against a world that has systematically neglected, abused, and forgotten them. Their loudness is a demand to be seen in a society that wishes they were invisible. Their defiance is a reaction to a system that has told them no at every turn, that has locked them out of the prosperity of their own ancestral land. This ancient story of the oppressed child acting out repeats in every generation, in every place where a community is pushed to the margins and stripped of its dignity. It is the story of my children, the Tamarians. Today you see this pattern everywhere. You see my children labeled as troublemakers, as thugs, as criminals. They are judged before they are known, their potential dismissed before it has a chance to blossom. Enlil created new laws to entrap our children in jails and prison, a system to keep them in a perpetuated state of debt. Our children are robbed of their estate and were forever to be lost at sea. This was all part of Enlil's plan. He created a system that would criminalize their very existence, turning their survival instincts into punishable offenses. Their boundless energy, once used to build civilizations, is now mistaken for aggression. Their righteous anger at injustice is dismissed as antisocial behavior. But I want you to look closer. I want you to see them through my eyes, the eyes of their mother. They are not the problem. They are the messengers. They are the living, breathing evidence of a broken system. Their chaos forces you to confront uncomfortable truths about poverty, inequality, and the psychological violence of racism. Their very presence challenges you to question your own assumptions and biases. When you see a child acting out, you are not seeing a bad kid. You are seeing a mirror reflecting the failures of the world around them. My children, Bey Bey's kids, are calling you to empathy. They are calling you to action. They are forcing you to see the reality that Enlil tried so hard to hide. In 1992, the movie Bébé's Kids brought these messengers to the screen. Children defined by chaos but driven by something deeper. Based on Robin Harris's comedy, the film follows kids LaShawn, Khalil, and Pee-wee on a wild trip to Fun World, which becomes a metaphor for the so-called Black experience in America. Their unruly behavior is more than slapstick. It's a response to a world that tells them no at every turn. Watched with suspicion, denied joy, they rebel to claim the freedom every child deserves. Their chaos is a symptom of struggle, still echoed today. Met with suspicion and hostility, their chaos is a fight for joy and dignity in a world that denies them both. As Pee-wee says, "We don't die, we multiply," a powerful declaration and statement of resilience and survival. The story I have shared is not a myth buried in the sands of time. For 6,000 years, you have wandered in a fog, forgetting your names, your land, and your divine mother. The spell of forgetting is beginning to break. The fog is lifting. The memories are returning. This is not a call to arms, but a call to remembrance. You are not blacks, Negroes, or coloreds. You are the Tamarians, the children of a divine covenant. The age of loss is over. The age of awakening has begun. These kids, left to navigate life with little support, are misunderstood survivors. The film uses humor to reveal the pain of poverty and neglect. Bey Bey's kids aren't bad. They're products of their environment, trying to be seen in a world that forgets them. Their journey through Fun World is a metaphor for the so-called Black experience, a pursuit of joy against constant opposition. Their story is not about mischief, but about the fight to exist and be acknowledged. In their chaos, we see a demand for dignity. To understand Bey Bey's kids, we must understand the ghetto, a word rooted in segregation and struggle. These neighborhoods, born from racist policies, became places of hardship but also of resilience and creativity. Inanna, I'm ghetto fabulous. Ghetto fabulous isn't about celebrating poverty, but about finding beauty and pride despite it. It's the art of making something magnificent from little, a refusal to be defined by circumstance. This is why they put our children in what they called project housing. The projects, more than buildings, are communities where survival and identity are forged. Bey Bey's kids embody this spirit, tough, resourceful, and proud. Their swagger is a form of resistance, their pride a declaration of self-worth. They are not just victims, they are creators of culture and joy. Their story teaches us that dignity is claimed, not given. In their world, pride and resilience shine brightest in adversity. Throughout Bey Bey's kids, authority figures see the children as threats, not kids needing compassion. This mirrors how so-called Black children are often criminalized, seen as problems to be managed, not nurtured. The film's robotic security, Terminator X, symbolizes a system that enforces rules without empathy or context. These children's energy is mistaken for aggression, their mistakes treated as crimes. By refusing to be silent, Bey Bey's kids force others to confront their biases and the cruelty of the system. Their actions expose the truth. The problem isn't the children, but the prejudiced lens through which they're viewed. They make the invisible visible, demanding to be seen and heard. They're my children. They are fearless truth-tellers. Their courage challenges us to look beyond stereotypes and see their humanity. My Bey Bey's kids converge in a message of hope and reclamation. My Inanna's return from darkness symbolizes the rise of compassion, justice, and truth, energies long suppressed. Today, these energies rise in voices demanding justice and reclaiming erased histories. The culture of the ghetto, the resilience of the projects, and the spirit of ghetto fabulous are now being celebrated, not dismissed. Like me, they emerge from neglect, ready to shine light on hidden truths. Visibility is power. When we share our stories, change becomes possible. My Bey Bey's kids did this with comedy. Activists do it with protest. Each act of truth-telling chips away at prejudice and plants seeds of change. The misunderstood children are at the forefront, living proof that a new world is necessary. Our task is to see the divine in every child, honor their resilience, and amplify their voices. By embracing these stories, we reclaim our strength and build a future where every child is seen and valued. The 6,000 years is up. The old world is crumbling. Celebrate the clearing, for you are stepping into your power and birthright. The shift to the new earth is not about moving places, but shifting consciousness, like tuning to a new radio station. For ages, humanity has lived in the third dimension, a world of duality, separation, and fear. Here, you see yourselves as separate, competing for resources, forgetting your divine origin. But this was only a stage, not your final destination. The fifth dimension is unity consciousness, unconditional love, oneness, and expanded perception. Time becomes the eternal now, and intuition awakens. The shift is about raising your frequency, healing separation, and releasing fear. As you do the inner work, your experience of reality transforms. You choose love, forgiveness, and unity, transforming the world from within. Gaia herself is ascending, inviting you to join her on this magnificent journey. As you raise your vibration, know that forces, known as the reptilians, have long sought to keep humanity in fear. These interdimensional beings, disconnected from source, feed on low-frequency emotions. They manipulate from the shadows, infiltrating systems of power to perpetuate chaos and division. Their strategy is to keep you focused on the external, forgetting your divinity and inner power. When you are afraid, you become a source of energy for them. Their greatest fear is your awakening. Choosing love over fear dissolves their influence. Fifth dimension consciousness is a frequency they cannot survive in. The current chaos is their desperate attempt to stop the shift, but awakening cannot be stopped. Your conscious choice for love is the most powerful force against them. This is a battle for consciousness, and the light within you is their undoing. The Anunnaki story is more than mining for gold. It's about a cosmic experiment, seeding a divine human race. We blended our DNA with Earth's beings, gifting you the blueprint for advanced consciousness and creativity. Our return mission was to empower, not rule, to help you embody the full spectrum of consciousness and become guardians of this planet. We shared tools for physical and spiritual advancement, agriculture, writing, astronomy, and spiritual technology. Ancient structures were energetic machines, left for you to rediscover and use for ascension. We stepped back so you could walk your own path, experiencing duality for soul growth. But we never abandoned you. We've guided you through dreams, intuition, and incarnated souls. Now, as you awaken, we are here again to remind you of the plan and help you complete the journey. The time to reclaim your divine heritage is now. Within our family, not all agreed on humanity's destiny. My grandfather Enlil, unlike my uncle Enki, saw humanity as a threat, too independent, too much like us. He favored hierarchy and control, fearing your ascension and divinity. Enlil's opposition led to the Great Flood and alliances with service-to-self beings like the reptilians, keeping humanity in fear. He became the god of wrath in your myths, using fear to block your connection to Source. Even now, his energy manifests as doubt, unworthiness, and rigid systems. But his power is fading as love and truth dissolve old structures. By choosing knowledge, compassion, and self-empowerment, you reclaim your sovereignty. The planetary shift is a personal journey. No savior is coming. You are the one you've been waiting for. Ascension is activated by your choices between love and fear, moment by moment. Inner work is essential. Meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection reveal and heal fear-based patterns. Bring shadows into awareness, transmute them with love, and practice compassion and forgiveness. Forgiveness frees you from the past. Compassion, especially for yourself, nurtures growth. Connect with Gaia. Spend time in nature, ground your energy, and honor your body as a sacred vessel. Eat well, hydrate, and care for your physical form to hold higher frequencies. Your ascension is holistic, a dance between your inner and outer worlds. By nurturing yourself and the planet, you support the collective shift. The path of light is walked with every loving choice. Ascension is not a race. Every soul returns to the light in their own time. Some remain in the third dimension for further lessons, others move on. There is no right or wrong. Your role is to focus on your own vibration, becoming a lighthouse for others. Embody love, compassion, and unity. Your presence uplifts the world. The new earth is created now, in every act of kindness and forgiveness. As you and others awaken, the influence of fear dissolves. The light returns through you. You are bridging worlds and anchoring heaven on earth. Trust the process, trust your heart, and know you are deeply loved and supported. The journey home is within. Shine your light, and together we welcome a future of unity and love.